Hello, welcome to Cyber Focus, your source for international business information. My name is Christopher Rice. Our guest today is Dr. Toby Malichi. Dr. Malichi is a trade advisor, free trade advocate, entrepreneur, global business diplomat, media contributor, and the founding CEO of Malichi Group Worldwide. He and his organization have been operating in over 70 countries for over 37 years, including work on behalf of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, small and medium-sized enterprises, and 4 White House administrations. In addition to this role, Dr. Malichi serves as Vice Chairman of the Indiana District Export Council, is a member of the White House Business Council, and is a 2-time recipient of the Indiana Sagamore of the Wabash Honor. Dr. Malichi is widely seen as an international trade expert. Today, Dr. Malichi will draw from his many years of experience as an international business consultant to discuss his path to success, current free trade agreements, and international business within the state of Indiana. Dr. Malichi, thanks so much for coming to join us.
Chris, thank you so much. I really mean that. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Pleasure to have you.
Thanks, sir.
To start out, could you tell us about your career with Malichi Group Worldwide? When you were first beginning, did you want to work internationally, and did you envision you might one day have the international reach you do now?
That's a great question. An answer to your question is absolutely yes. At 8 years old, the age of 8, in the third grade, 8 years old, I knew I was going to become a world leader in my small hometown of Cottingsville, Indiana. Okay. And my goal was to become a world leader, an international business leader, and to one day get the Nobel Peace Prize for business. And henceforth, through my matriculation up through the years, leaving General Motors Corporation, Chevrolet Motor Division, and going into my own business, I started to get into trade. And trade started out with import-export, Japan being our first country, which is, at that time was the toughest country because America was just now beginning to open up trade and talk about trade for SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises, even for corporations. At General Motors Corporation, I got a little taste of doing business with Japan because of Chevrolet Motor Division. We had the Love truck, back then. And so as that matriculated import-export, it started evolving into some of the things that we do today. So 8 years old.
Wow. Dr. Malichi, in an era where many in the West are increasingly focused within their borders instead of outside of them, what advice do you give small business owners who are looking to expand internationally but are perhaps hesitant to do so?
That's an outstanding question, and it's one that many small businesses, SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises are grappling with today. We're not sure, they're not sure which way the direction of the company is going in terms of trade. For the last several years, the focus for the last 3 presidents has been to open up trade and to do more than one country. At that particular time, probably 98-99% of all small businesses, SMEs, only traded with either Mexico or Canada. And so they just now are beginning to get the rudiments down to trading, maybe start looking at another 1 or 2 other countries. But then the trade climate changed on us. And as a consequence, SMEs are hesitant. It's a very expensive proposition. Trade is not for the weak-hearted. It's a tough business. And it's one that if you're going to trade, you better know what you're doing before you start out.
Many would think that you work in a challenging landscape, engaging in international trade in the state of Indiana, as opposed to either coastline. Can you talk about the landscape for international trade within Indiana and the opportunities that do exist?
Yes, I can. The major premier news organization in Washington, D.C. is called The Hill. And The Hill interviewed me this past April. And it was titled an influencer for small business for Indiana international trade. Indiana is, as we do in the Midwest, we're probably always slow to react to what the rest of the world is doing. Personally, I like that. When I was younger, I did not like that. But as things happen on the East Coast or things happen on the West Coast, it takes like forever, it seems like, to get to Indianapolis. And it may be or appear to be like, oh guys, that's passé, we've done that, we've gone on with it. Indiana's always had the reputation of being very methodical how we go about our business processes and things that we do. Wait and see. And that, I think, has lent itself to one of our greatest attributes on trade, because now Indiana is one of the last great havens in the United States where the world has not come to as of yet. Now, there was an initiative 3 years ago. I was an advisor on that initiative, Global Cities, money funded by the Brookings Institute and JP Morgan Chase. Indianapolis was chosen as one of the cities to make it a global city. We've had great governors and great mayors in Indianapolis and great governors that said, okay, it's time to open the state up. But they learned something. The country did not know where Indiana was, did not know where Indianapolis was, other than the great 500 track, or the track with the cornfield around it. We've changed immensely since then. So it's been a concerted effort by our state and government leaders and business leaders and all involved to open up our state for business and to say we welcome you to come in. And so what started happening, Chris, is we started then going to them. We started going out to China, we started going out to Taiwan, for example, or going out to Japan. We have a large Japanese contingency here. Started going out to Dubai. They were in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. I was at that meeting. The state is going out now. I just did, through Governor Holcomb, just did a major deal on with Italy, right, an automotive. Dubai was here a couple weeks ago. We had about 55 people in the room, business leaders, and those of us who run businesses. And His Excellency came in on foreign direct investment. Out of the 55 businesses in the room, how many of us you think were actually doing business in Dubai at that particular time? Just take a wild guess.
3.
1. And the one was Malichi Group Worldwide.
Okay.
We've been around for a long time, as you said, 37 years, 30 years in trade. So that's good. That's good from the standpoint that we've been places, and Indiana has been places. I represent our great state everywhere I go, our great cities everywhere I go. But also even better, I think it shows you the opportunity in the state and the plan by what our state in Indiana is doing and our cities and regional cities are doing to attract in business, foreign direct investment business coming into here, into our cities and our states.
Wonderful. Dr. Malichi, you worked on NAFTA, and you've recently spoken out against those who wish the U.S. to withdraw from NAFTA and also the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Why are these free trade deals so critical to businesses in Indiana?
Yeah, I am. I'm one of the original people 25 years ago who worked on NAFTA, representing small, medium-sized enterprises on behalf of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, whose board of directors I was on, the Business Roundtable, which is the top 50 corporations in America, and also through the United States Department of Commerce. So I was what was called a selected official volunteer spokesperson advocate for NAFTA. NAFTA and TPP, which I worked on TPP as well, would have been, and my argument's been like, yes, NAFTA needed to be tweaked. It had, but it was 25 years ago. I'm 68, I'm not the same as 25 years ago. So I need to be tweaked a little bit. But the internet was not around now, digitalization was not around then. So yes, it has to be tweaked a little bit. TPP, that I say to people, have to understand this. TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, was 12 countries, including the United States. But it included, by 2030, Chris, would be the largest trading bloc in the world. 1/3 of the world's population would be there in those areas, in the ASEAN area, Asia, Southeast Asia, and 1/3 of the population will be millennials. Millennials will have the buying power, they'll have the money. So we need to access those countries, lower those barriers, lower the tariffs, and get in, conduct business, have access to the markets in order to keep us back home from having to be dependent on these other countries.
Right, and so as an Indiana small business, this gives you more options. This gives you more places to go.
It gives a lot more places to go, and it assures our future. You know, the world's going to do business with or without us.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Malichi, your motto is have a successful day and trade globally.
Yes.
Can you tell us why this is such an important perspective in business today?
Yes, it is. It's an affirmation. Each day the good Lord allows me to get up, I'm going to have a successful day. good, bad, or different. And people used to say to me, "Wait, what do you mean? It's 12 o'clock at night in Indiana, but not in China." And in China, they're what? Trading. It's that in Middle East, 8 hours difference. What they're doing? They're trading. So have a successful day, trade globally, or think globally. And so it's an affirmation to get people thinking and trading when they talk to me or think about Malichi Group Worldwide. They know they're going to have a successful day, but also they're going to have to trade and think globally.
It's collaboration too.
Collaboration is huge, Chris.
We're all partners, right?
It really is. It really is. Well said. Yes.
And Dr. Malichi, thanks a lot for coming in to speak with us. It's been an honor to have you.
The honor's been mine, and let me just say this. You're one of the proud leaders that those of us who've been around a while look forward to coming up. And I'm always inspired by young leaders like yourself and the work that you're doing, and continue to do it. Continue to tell the stories of SMEs as we go forward, because we are the future. 95% of America's businesses are on the outside of the United States of America. 95% of our corporations, 90% of our customers are on the outside borders of this country. We have to compete. We have to be out there. And strategically, it makes sense from some other things that I'm not at liberty to say it right now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Dr. Malichi.
Thank you so much. Chris, have a successful day and think globally.
Will do.
Thanks.
That's all for this edition of Cyber Focus. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any comments or suggestions for future topics, please let us know at Ciber, that's CIBER, Ciber, @indiana.edu.